Welcome everybody. Today we have a very exciting tutorial about creating your own file manager, similar to Google Drive or Dropbox, where we have folders within our file manager and within folders, and then there are files as well. We can also add folders and files by clicking this action. In addition, what we can do for folders, we can edit the name of the folder, we can delete the folder, and we can move folders between folders. And for files, we can download the file, we can edit the name of the file, we can delete the file, in addition, moving files between folders. In addition, we have the functionality to navigate between folders by using this navigation bar up top. That gets updated based on where we are within the whole file path structure. This is a very exciting tutorial because there are not many file manager apps out there, and this is how you can create your own on Flutterflow. You can download this file app straight away by clicking on the link below in the description page where you can get access to it immediately. This is going to be a 5-part series where in first part we'll explore the data structure, and we're going to talk about the storage component from a Firebase perspective, in addition the database. We'll also set up authentication to allow the user to create an account. In the second part, we will design the front end which allows the user to upload files and create folders. In addition, the navigation component of it. In the third section, we'll talk about renaming files and moving files between folders. In the part 4, we'll talk about renaming folders and moving folders between folders. Lastly, in part 5, it is about the navigation, about breadcrumb, allowing the user to click into high hierarchical orders of folders. Let's jump right in to talk about the database structure. So the database structure will be quite simple. It would have a created at time, a file title, which gets shown to the user in the front end, the type, so whether it's a folder or a file, the download URL, which is a URL linked to our Firebase Storage for the user to download the file, a parent path, which allows us to know what is the parent path of this folder or file, so it allows us to navigate across structures. There is also the last 2 field, which is about deletion. So simply it's going to be is deleted, it's going to be a boolean, or is deleted at, which is a date time we'll record. To actually delete the file, it will simply be a is deleted boolean, so it means we're hiding the file. This allows us to, if a user does accidentally delete a file, it allows us to recover that file by setting is deleted back to false and removing the is deleted time. From a Firebase storage perspective, we will use the default setting where in Firebase storage, a user will have multiple documents contained within, each user will have their own folder. We will not be replicating the folder structure in Firebase storage as it is quite complicated. However, it is possible to do it, and I've done it before, where the folder structure that we are creating in the front end reflects in the storage. There is no need for it unless you want to replicate the folder structure one-to-one. So we'll keep it simple where every file is stored within the user collection instead of having this where there's a test folder and then inside the test folder there is a PDF. So all we're going to do is store our files within this highest level of structure under the user's unique ID. Here I've created the Firebase project already. There are many videos, I've done it before. This is a very basic setup where we're just creating the Firebase project. And secondly, you need to deploy your Firebase storage. So you need to enable storage here from Firebase. And once that's enabled, press the deploy button. Next, you also need to enable authentication. This allows user to create their own login account and therefore show files relevant to that specific user. So you also need to enable authentication in Firebase, and I've just got email and password set up. Here, you stick this and you select Firebase and pick your entry page and your home page. So I'm just going to quickly create an entry page where I'm simply going to be using a very generic authentication screen. And then I'm going to change this homepage name to be called File Manager. Now let's go back to setting, go back to auth. The initial page is going to be login screen, and the logged in page will be file manager. And next we'll need to set up the files collection. So files collection was relevant, is related to the data structure we spoke about previously. So we're going to have all these fields. So the first field we need is the created at time of date type time, date time, the file title, which is what gets shown to the user in the front end. I'm going to type, so whether this is a folder or a string, folder or a file, the download URL to allow the user to download the file of type string, parent path of type string, is deleted, which is a boolean, and then is deleted at of date time. So I've quickly designed the front end and I'll walk you through it. So on the main screen, there is the file manager screen. We're going to have a list of folders and files relevant to each respective folder level structure. And here at the top, we have the file path, kind of like the breadcrumb of where we are in the whole folder structure. Within the details of the design itself, there is the name of the folder and the name of the file, the upload date and time, and the action we can conduct. The action we can conduct is download the file, edit the name, delete, or move. And I've created all the respective components related to it. So adding a file component, adding a folder component, moving a file component, moving a folder component, and lastly, renaming the file or the folder. There's also a floating action button. This allows us to add file and add folder at each respective hierarchy. One thing I almost forgot is that for file, we need a user reference. This allows us to identify what files and folders are related to which user. In order for users to navigate within folders and between folders, we will use local state variables. The local state variable will store where we are through the parent path. So I'm going to call this state field called parent path var, and it's going to be of type string. And there's it's nullable because when we first go in, we don't need it. In order to generate each of these respective list views, what I will do is add a backend query collection of files. We're going to get a list of documents. And the filter we need is firstly, the user reference equal to authenticated user, i.e. the files and folders relevant to that user. The second one we need is the file type. The first one talks about file folder type, so we're going to use folder type. The last filter we need is parent path. The parent path is equal to the state we just set, so parent path var. And then is deleted will be equal to false, so the folders and files are still active, and that's about it in terms of our backend query. Next, we can also order by. So let's order by credit date, credit at time of increasing value. Or we can do it alphabetically where we order by file title alphabetically. Let's just do that. Let's press confirm. And it will ask you to deploy the index, but I won't do it yet until I do this one. So I'm going to duplicate, copy this backend query and copy it to the list view here. So I think all we got to change is simply the type to file. Press confirm. I guess they didn't copy, this didn't save. Let's quickly fix this. Of type folder, yep, that's it. And then I am going to quickly deploy this. Deploy the Firebase index. Now that's done. So this will show us the files and the folders at a specific parent path. How I want the file structure to work is that there will always be a home folder, which the user can click on and navigate to the first folder, i.e. home. And then every other folder would have their own respective name. So for example, this hello world, it will show hello world. And then within hello world, there's a folder called folder A and folder B, and so on and so on. This shows that folder B is within folder A, within the folder called hello world, which is within home, which is our root directory. I'm going to stop here. Next lesson, we'll cover adding files and folders and navigating between folders. Remember to comment, like, or subscribe to keep updated on the series.